You need to pour into 33 people to get the world, and I think that was the craziest visual.
Because you're like, oh, I can do that.
Like that's
not that bad.
I can reach that.
Yeah.
Like that's right there.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. We're on episode 27 of New Life Baptist After Hours. Today we have Isaac as our guest, returning guest, and of course Jason and Megan here. And today we're going to discuss the conference again and just how it impacted our lives for the gentleman that shared in the last episode. And you want to start it off?
Yeah, we can start off with our first question, which is, what was the reason for you guys coming to the conference? I know Isaac had something that he wants to share.
Well, I'd say that I wanted to grow more, but I will also admit that I was feeling kind of burnt out. I was kind of feeling drained, but once I got there and I started hearing what they were saying and how they were putting stuff, it kind of started to speak to me, and I felt like I got really impacted by what they were saying.
Would you say it was not necessarily your first desire to go, that you kind of just wanted to see what it was about, and so you went, but you weren't really like feeling into it, and but it changed?
I think I just felt drained that week, so I felt tired. Like, it would have been a lot easier just to stay home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I was feeling really
like
dead that
yeah.
week. But getting there and hearing it kind of gave me more energy. And it kept me kind of locked in.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was able to focus, even though I felt like everyone was kind of tired.
Yeah.
Even towards the end of it, I feel like everybody was tired. But the whole time I felt super duper locked into what they were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think sometimes we can get like that where we may not want to do something, but we kind of make ourselves.
Yeah.
And it turns out for the good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think what I had said before was that, like, I might as well just sacrifice and go.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of staying home and doing nothing?
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like, it's just one weekend. It's not like it's going to be every week it's going to be like this. It's just this moment in time, and what we can get out of it is going to be much more beneficial than us just sleeping or resting or whatever. So that was kind of my view on going too, and it did, it spoke to me too. So I'm really glad. Of course, we were hosting it, but I'm glad that we had that opportunity. Do you have one?
Well, I was at the beginning. I was very excited to go. I wanted to grow, like how Isaac said. So I did want to grow discipleship, and just the way you guys were kind of describing it made it seem like it would be very unique, interesting conference. So the first 2 days I was real pumped up. The last day I think I was kind of drained, like Isaac said too, because it was just back to back. So I think a lot of information was thrown at us that my head was kind of not wanting to be there on Saturday already, and then the whole day would get out too. But I think
you say that like we're a burden.
No,
it's just
like
a lot.
It was a burden, but it was just so much.
There's a lot of information,
and the way they taught, like they're different uniques of teaching. Like it was like a little break, but then it was also like you had to adjust the way you were learning. Like one would teach with bullet points and main subjects, sublines, and all that. So you had to be there writing and trying to understand it, compared to someone else who would kind of just go into the emotional aspect, and they would be like giving stories, giving a point along with it, giving more stories. So it was like you kind of had to like switch your mind back and forth a lot of times. But I think it was just very interesting. I did grow a lot from it, and I think even because it was a discipleship conference, it taught me how to be disciplined in learning about God and actually keeping my mind straight and focused on Him. Like how Isaac said, like you have to sacrifice something. I was practicing discipline through it. Anyone want to add something else?
Did you want to add anything, or you just?
I don't know. I just went blank. But yeah, I'll add something. It is that, I've known Matt now for What, since 2016? 15? 14? So, over 10 years. And so me and Matt, we talked some, and he's told me about Brother Bill for a while and how he was just a common man who just worked for Coca-Cola. And he had this thing he did where he was trained how to make disciples. And that's what he focuses a lot on. And then I'd heard about Sonny before I even knew Sonny, because he was telling me about this man that he met and that he was trying to pour into. And so, just to see this all come together, because that's the first time I've ever met all of them except for Pastor Matt. He's the only one I knew on the whole trip, even though I felt like I knew all of them for Director Day 1. But it was a lot of information, but if you're going to grow and mature in your faith, you better get used to getting information. You got to be used to growing in the Word, spending long days and hours in the Word and together. Because if you don't, you said burn out. And so a lot of people say that a lot. And my question would be, I know we can get burnt out, but is it a burnout, or is it that we're stagnant because we're not pouring out what we have retained? It's kind of like being bloated. I'm sorry, I just get really... I'm only going to tell you how I know things. But anyway, if you get bloated, you feel like you're like, oh, I can't believe I did that. Right? Right? You just feel horrible. And you just want to just give up. Yeah. Well, that's what happens to us spiritually if all we do is sit there and just go and never do nothing else with it.
You don't think it would be the opposite? Like you're giving too much of your time that you're getting burned out?
You could, because you're not getting filled back in with the Word of God.
Oh, okay.
You see? But
yeah, I think Matt explained it real well. He said that he would be doing good things and things that he working and working, but it wasn't for it. It was for the Lord, but it wasn't what the Lord wanted him to do.
It wasn't
was just
beneficial
busyness.
for like the spiritual growth of himself and someone else personally.
Yeah, it was just busy.
Because he said, I understand what you go through, Jason, because I'm a pastor right along with you, and you got to focus on the tithes, you got to focus on the attendance, you got to handle this problem and that problem and over here, and that we get so busy doing that and seeing, like they said, the institution being the church building and the things of the building, that you miss the big picture. And the big picture is people. And like I said, during this conference, it got to one point, I just looked at myself spiritually and I said, I failed at disciple making, because I lost that track of what that looks like and how to do it and to multiply. And so by them being here, they really encouraged me and got me pumped up or motivated, or however you want to say that. But that's because I was getting just filled in with more wisdom, more knowledge, and just now I want to do even more. And so that's what we got to look at. Everything, all those are important. I asked Matt, because we together the whole time they were here, and we come back here, we sit, we talk, we debrief and everything. And I think it was Saturday night, we were sitting at Stefano's. I said, Matt, what do you do if you have people in your church that don't do commitment? How do you fix that? And which we knew the answer. We just didn't come to our eyes until he was explaining it. He said commitment's only going to happen if they want to do it. You can't make them become more committed. That commitment is you're willing to give out more than what you're receiving in. That is, coming and serving, loving on people, taking someone and discipling them. Like I said Sunday, maybe somebody in this church will take Jenny and just disciple her. Yeah, she lives in Roma. But why can't you pick a phone up and talk to each other at night? Why can't you Skype or Zoom together or FaceTime or TikTok or whatever else is out there you can do to get face to face, help encourage, help to grow, and give them homework to do? You know, I mean, that's what this whole conference was about. And I pray that it lit a fire in a lot of people to not be just a church pew warmer, but become a player in the game. Because, you know, like, who was it that used that analogy? Was it Andrew about picking your team? Mm-hmm. And, you know, I remember playing, you didn't want to be last on the playground. You know, you hated being last. Because that means everybody liked you and everybody thought you weren't no good. You wanted to be the first person that people were fighting over you. Why? Because you want to win and you're going to pick the players that's going to help you win. And that's part of making disciples, is taking these people that you know can help win, that can help win people to the Lord, that can be a reproducer of believers and not just I guess you would say, like a drag to the disciples. They're just there, and you're having to pull them along with you because they're not willing to do anything. Yeah. I'm sorry, I got a little long-winded.
Well, we can wrap it up there.
Sure, we can.
What part of the conference stood out to you most, and why?
I'll start. I don't know if this sounds like me, but I feel like what stood out to me a lot of times, or at least the whole point of it that stood out to me, was that I noticed how lazy we were as a church, and I'm putting myself in it, but I just felt like before I would see everyone in a church member, I just saw them like as good Christians, I guess you would say. Like, I would see the women in the Bible study and I would be like, oh, they're doing good because I can see God in them. But then after going to this conference, I feel like when he said that, I think he said we shouldn't be making good people, we should be making disciple makers. I think that's how he said it. And so then it changed my view of everyone, including myself. Like, we're not really good Christians because we're not even living the commandment that God gave us from the beginning. That we're just living the Christian life, but when it came to that part, we don't do anything. We're just sitting. And so I think it just changed my view of how I view everyone at church, especially myself, and how we're not even like close to what God's calling us to. Like, maybe we're living like examples per se, but we're not really out there doing what He called us to do. So I think that's what pointed a lot to me in the conference.
And what you're saying, because I got my notes here, and it's the part of the multiplication, you know, God's multiplication table. Yeah. And He broke that all down. But when you do this, He made a comment, and I drew a picture of a lock unlocked. Mm-hmm. He says that when you start discipling people, you will truly start to unlock Scripture for what it is. Because the Lord's waiting on us to do the work, and then He's going to unlock it, and you're going to see Him even more. And you'll be able to pour in more. And I saw the exact same thing you've seen. Yeah. Because so many times we're okay with just coming and checking the box. And we think we're good enough. But that's not Christianity. Yeah.
Well, I'll say that what you're saying now, it's reminding me of, I think it was Sunny that was saying it, that if you're getting all this knowledge and you're not doing anything with it, like, He's just gonna move the people on that you would have had a chance with. He's just gonna move them on to someone who will actually do the work, and not just.
I like when he said that.
That really like ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one. Well.
Cause I explain that to David a lot of times. I always tell him, when God's calling you to do something, you should go and do it, because if you don't do it, He will find someone else who can do the work, and you're gonna just be there and you're gonna see God moving, and you're not gonna be part of it. Because I think someone had said it, that you had asked the question on one's Bible study. Asked like, is God still moving even if we don't have faith? And that clicked in my head, saying like we God moves no matter whether we have faith or not. It's the fact that when we have faith, we can see Him move, and He can move in us. And when we don't have faith, we can't even see Him moving at all. And we're just blinded to what He can do in our lives. Yeah. So I feel like We just need to really start moving and actually listen to what he's trying to tell us a lot of times.
Yeah, Bill said it, which I understood Bill perfectly because he just talks like I do back home. So we're like on connection. But whenever he would say things, we talked about just a few minutes ago, is that he said some people would think I'm arrogant because he says I want them all. I'm going to win everybody in this world. But what did he do? He's casting a
vision.
And he's got what to make that vision happen. Without a plan.
Oh, strategy?
A strategy, plan, right? You can't ever conquer the vision.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's got the plan.
Yeah.
And, the multiplication table he shared with us, because he went from, you got one guy you're discipling for a year, 2 years, whatever, how long. And then you go next year, you pick up another one that you're pouring into, but you're still staying connected to the other one. And they're got someone, now you're up to 4. The next year, you're up to 8. Next year, you're up to 16. And it just completely just starts to just add up. It's that compound interest. You know what it is?
Yeah.
Who would want to have a penny that doubles every day or $1 million?
I didn't understand it. He would say, like, yeah, that girl looks like she's in the deer in the headlights. I was like, yeah. Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, because it doubles every day. So you might start with 1, then you got 2, then you got 4, then you have 8, and so forth. And then by the last 10th day, you have $10 million. Yeah. So you see, and that's the thing is, in order for you to really succeed in God's kingdom and do what He's called us to do, you got to be confident. Mm-hmm. I think we got to look at things. Maybe it's not an arrogance, but it's a confidence. Like, you know what? He chose me. He had enough faith in me to do this. And I think you guys all said it just a minute ago. I think we weren't even recording it because we were sitting here just talking. But you said I was always afraid to teach because I was afraid I didn't know enough.
Yeah.
And that's many of them in the church. They don't want to do something, first of all, because if I say I'll do something, they'll ask me to do it.
Yeah.
And then,
asking.
yeah. But that's not the case. The case is, we're supposed to do things. We're supposed to serve God. We're not supposed to sit around and come just Sunday morning and go back home. I mean, that's what Satan has fed the church full of lies. Yeah. I mean, it's hard for us to get people to come on Wednesday night or Thursday nights or even special events. Yeah. We got VBS coming up, and I'm sure that over half of the people who come on Sunday morning will not be there for VBS. Oh, yeah. And it's because me and mine and we are fine. Mm-hmm. I got what I needed Sunday morning. I'll be back next Sunday morning. Or are they okay with their own little clique? My little buddies. These are my buddies. Nobody else can come in. It's just us. If somebody else comes in, we're like, no. This is the good table. You sit over there. That's just how it is. But that's not Christianity. Christianity is growing in the Word of God. Christianity is making disciples. Christianity is pouring out Jesus everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. I like what Bill said. I'm going to do it all. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what our reaction should be too. We're going to do it all. There's nothing wrong with taking a little time. Nothing wrong doing something with your family. But guess what? You're not taking off from serving God and making disciples. You make disciples in your house. And I know that's where I failed at. That's where it hit me. And that's why I wrote that down. And I failed too because I'm so busy trying to do this and this and this. And I'm missing these ones who are hungry for the word and are willing. For example, if I called up Eric and said, Eric, let's meet at 5 a.m. once a week, for me to help you grow. I guarantee you, Eric would say, Pastor, let's do it. Yeah. And he said, it'll be hard for me, but I can do it. I'll do my best. Yeah. But he would do it. Yeah. And, and that's what Bill told us, right? he said in the podcast we did with him, he said, you know what? You got to push them. You got to push them hard. You got to demand something from them because it's your time. I mean, discipleship is our time. We shouldn't waste time with people who don't want to be discipled. It don't mean we don't love them. It don't mean that we don't there to answer questions for them. But we're not going to go the extra mile trying to disciple them in the Word of God when they don't want it. It's like trying to make your kid eat carrots, and every time you go to their mouth with that spoon, they take it and they just hit it and throw it everywhere. You can sit there and keep doing it, and or you can hold the arms down and force feed them, but it's not going to make them want it anymore. And that's how it is with discipleship. That's what I got through the whole thing. You can't force feed. You can't just give them an elbow to the nose and make them pass out and just feed it to them.
Maybe, too, that's why we get burnt out, because we're discipling or going after the people that don't want it, and so it's just wearing us out.
Trying to pour into the bottle that's got the cap on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Or we're taking that pickaxe and we're trying to break through metal.
Yeah.
And we keep hitting it, and nothing's happening. And so we know, like, I know it's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen.
And then that's too a part of just discernment and who God is leading us to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like what Sonny says. Sonny says, you keep serving, you keep doing what you're doing, but keep your eyes and ears open.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Head on a swivel, and find that one that Lord says that's who you need to be discipling. That's who you need to be discipling.
Well, I think Isaac and I were talking about it too, because now that we have heard this and we understand this, we have to do something with it. We can't. Yeah, we're held to that accountability now. Yep. We can't just be stagnant anymore. We have to do it.
Yeah, I know. Sonny told me that he talked to Matt, and Matt talked to me. Well, I'm going to meet up with him soon, and he's going to give me the last lesson because we didn't make it. So he's going to go over with me so I can come back in and teach the church.
Oh, wow.
And also he's going to send me all those notes too, so that I can do it. That same conference they did, I can do it and spread it out so you guys ain't looking glazed eyes. But I just say we all come one day, we knock it out.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Where's your heart at? Where's your heart at?
I think one day.
With people at the church? No.
Sorry, Jason, that's too much for me.
They'd be like,
no, I can't. Today I tried to work and I couldn't because my head was already drained from the whole weekend. And I had another lesson today at work. I was like, I can't. I need a little break.
You couldn't focus?
I could not focus.
That's why I didn't.
I feel like I was just feeling so motivated just to get back in and not just be stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that I kind of took away from it. Like, I feel like I have to do it.
Yeah, now you have to. You have to grow and move, and just start. That was my takeaway. Yeah. Just start. Did anything challenge your perspective or stretch your understanding of what it means to be a disciple?
I think for me, and I was thinking it right now, I think for me is that serving serving is good and it's great, but I think that's just not enough in my walk. Like, I can't just come and serve and then just say like, oh, I'm done, I've served, I've done what God's called me to do. I think I need to do that plus grow on my own, plus grow someone else, and I really need to capture like the whole meaning of Christianity a lot of times. And I think right now when you're talking about discernment, about who to disciple, not to disciple, I think I have a hard time with that because I feel like I have hope for the ones I think, like I see someone, I'm like, I know God can work it on, like I just need to keep pouring and pouring, but I need to learn that discernment of when to let go, when to not let go, and to keep reaching out to them, to not keep reaching out to them. Yeah. In a way. I think that's what I got from that.
Yeah. I think for me, I guess I have something that I might have a hard time with. Maybe y'all can clear it up for me, but because he did say mainly focus on one person at a time. And for me, I don't want to tell people that want to be a part of something, I don't want to turn them away, but I can see the benefit of focusing on just one and trying to help grow one. It just made me think about when I wanted to start the Bible study with you two, and I feel like we could have really grown a lot with just us, but other people wanted to join, and of course I didn't want to say no, but I can see, I mean, I still think we all have grown from just starting that up, but I can see where it would have benefited you two more, just us. But I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I would say how they were saying to pour into one person, but to have it reproduce so that you don't have to exclude people.
Yeah,
you know
I mean,
I
I know because that person then reproduces to another, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like at a specific time, just to focus on one, and yeah, you'll have the others that you have discipled in the past, and of course it'll be like, you know, they'll need less of your time than a new believer or, you know, whatever. But I guess when somebody sees that something is happening, they want to be a part of it, and you don't want to say, well, no, you can't be a part of this or whatever.
Well,
so,
I think you got to have both. You got to have a discipleship making and Bible studies like the women's Bible study, because not every one of them is going to be really sold out to grow. But this is where you keep your head on the swivel, as Sonny said. As you're doing your Bible studies, maybe one person will come is so hungry, who wants it, who will find out where you live and stand in your driveway, and you pull up and they're like, will you please disciple me? Will you please pour into me so I can know more? And that's when you say, yes, let's meet 5 a.m. every Monday morning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like doing both, are you saying?
Yeah, you do both. I mean, it's not just one or the other.
Well, no.
You know, it's, you know,
but
this
like
is
I'm
just
saying,
something
like,
you add to it.
People will see that and be like, oh, I'll be a part of it too. And it's like, well, no, we can have like another time or something. Yeah.
Like, let's say, like, we have the women's Bible study, but let's say you want to pour into Desiree, and then Cindy sees that, and Cindy's like, well, I want that too. You'd be like, well, let's set another time aside from you. Like, let's not do this between me and Desiree, because I do want to grow with Desiree. And of course, if they're true believers,
they'll understand.
They will understand, but they don't. That's when you see their hearts.
Yeah. And, you know, and to be honest with you, majority of people in their Bible studies and our men and women's Bible studies should be discipling somebody.
Yeah.
They should be pouring into someone. Because I wrote down what a disciple was. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
It is a casual listener, a convinced listener, and a committed lifelong learner and follower. You know, that's a disciple. That's what we're talking about pouring into. You know,
it's every believer.
Every believer should be a disciple and have
should be disciple. But many people in the church do not have that.
Yeah,
they want to be the disciplee, not the discipler.
Yes, and they know sometimes when you want to be disciplee, they just want heaven, but they're not willing because they're not committed, and they're not a lifelong listener, follower. You know,
just want the health insurance.
Yeah, that's what they want. They don't want to go to hell, so they're good with that. They're just wanting to be good people, and so but we need to make disciples. They need to be disciples. I mean, you think about what if New Life became a disciple producer, reproduce disciples. That church would be packed because it's not. You know, just as Noah said it, it's not the pastor's job to do that. It's everyone's job to do that. And you think about, you know, how many people have we brought with us? You know, great testimony was Sunday when Jenny was baptized, and she said, you know, she was first so thankful for her husband, for her in-laws, and she said, I'm thankful for Isaac. Because if it wasn't for Isaac, who brought her, because Desiree had brought Isaac, you know, and so you see that's that effect, you know, and that's where you have, if you do the God's multiplication table, you have 33 disciples.
Oh man, I love that illustration.
Yeah.
You need to pour into 33 people to get the world, and I think that was the craziest visual.
Because you're like, oh, I can do that.
Like that's
not that bad.
I can reach that.
Yeah.
Like that's right there.
Yeah. And so now as you see that, you can say, okay, Bill's not being arrogant. He's saying it is a vision. It is a goal that is very attainable. Attainable. Not retainable. Attainable.
Attainable.
You know, and so, I mean, if we look at all this, because, you know, many people felt overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might only came one night. Some people might have came and left. Some people might not have stayed the whole time. Whatever. And that's okay. Nothing against anybody who didn't come, who didn't stay, whatever. But if you're watching this and you feel that calling that, man, I need to know Jesus more, you need to get plugged in. You need to seek Him and find somebody that will disciple you. And if that person who's going to disciple you is not willing to challenge you and hold you accountable and make it hard for you, find you someone else. I think that's the biggest thing I took from all that.
Well, I think there's people who want to, or maybe they like the idea of it, and they want to be a part of that, and maybe that's something that they strive to do. It's kind of like a New Year's resolution, right? We all want to start working out, so we can go buy a gym membership, and then we never go. But like maybe in their life it's just taking over. They let that stuff just get in the way, and that hasn't clicked with them. Jesus should be in the front of all that, and I don't know how to reach those without, pouring in.
Yeah, I mean, we continue to do what we're doing. We continue to do our Bible studies. We continue to serve in church. We continue Sunday morning, Wednesday night, Brew for the Soul, outreaches, everything. But if we really start to take some of that time that we think that we just need that extra time to relax. I mean, what is to spend 1 hour with somebody a week? Yeah. Just 1 hour.
Well, I think it'll change how we perceive everything, too. Just by, like he said, pouring it out and somebody else just saying it. Yeah. And I think we'll see people, the congregation, everything different.
Yeah. I thought, it just made me hit me. Today we had breakfast with Bill, and Bill was talking about a gentleman who wanted nothing to do with Jesus, but he would just come, sit, and talk with him. And we weren't talking to him about the gospel as much, but, it was coming up through conversation and stuff. And he says, sneaky, that's what you're doing. He said, what do you mean? He said, you're just trying to sneak that in. You're getting ready to push that on me. He says, no, I'm not pushing nothing on it. I just want to grow a relationship with you. Because that's where it starts. Mm-hmm. And I think about Katie. You're starting to work out, and you got Megan over here. And Megan's a person who just loves to work out and run for some reason. I want to send her to the hospital to get it checked out. Because I don't know why anybody want to run. But anyway. But, and so we got the stuff, the exercise equipment, and you got your own little gym. And what has that been able to do? You've been able to come together. I mean, you had to sacrifice time, get up early, come and work out, but also pour into each other spiritually. And you guys are already doing this. You might not have realized that you were, but that's what they were talking about. That's that discipleship making. Is that 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week? I asked Bill. I said, Bill, how much time do I need to invest in that person for discipleship? He said, an hour, 2 hours a week, just depends. He said, depends on if you're together for services, and so forth. But think, if 1 hour a week, you just meet, pour in what you got. He said this isn't a race. I mean, it's a race, but it's not like a 50-meter dash. Yeah. It is a marathon. which means it's going to take time, and it's not going to happen overnight. You know, what does he say? 25 years he's been doing this, if I remember correctly. 25 years, and he said, I'm going to reach it. I'm going to save the world. You know, and that's because he's looking for 33 Timothys.
Very good.
I'll say some of like the biggest visuals for me were taking someone and just throwing them in front of you. Like that one was the biggest one. Or even when they used Paul walking on the water, that he lost confidence in himself, and that's why he sank.
Peter,
sorry.
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
I just thought I'd say it on here in case someone goes,
thank you.
Paul. Yeah.
Paul.
I knew you were talking about.
Peter
You
walking
know.
onto the water.
Yeah, you
yeah.
know.
And
Yeah.
he just loses confidence in himself.
Absolutely.
Sinks.
And you know, that's why I just read with the disciples. What was one of those things? As a convinced, right? He wasn't convinced in himself. You know, we can be a disciple and not be convinced in what he's called us to do. You know, just as you said, I don't teach because I feel like I don't know enough.
Yeah.
You know, but that's part of it's an apprentice. I wrote that down right here, apprentice. You know, again, we won't get into this, but I believe colleges is a waste of time. It's a scam. But anyway, back before colleges ever existed, how did a doctor become a doctor? They just woke up one day and got a Cracker Jack box and opened it up and said, ooh, stethoscope, I'm a doctor.
No, they follow a doctor.
They followed a doctor. And it's on-job training. They went with that doctor everywhere they went to learn the trade, to learn how to be a doctor, how to treat these things. And that's what a disciple is. It's an apprentice who learns on the job. You don't have to go to seminary school. Because we talked about that. And it was funny because last night we sat outside and Brother Bill and Sonny looked at me and said, Jason, did you go to school? And I said, I'm a doctor. I went and got a doctor's degree in seminary because Matt looked at me and winked for me to say that. And they went, oh, okay. I said, no, guys, I'm just kidding. The Holy Spirit, the Word of God. Yeah. And they just laughed because, you know, we want to focus on schooling because that's what America tells us we need. But we need on-the-job training. We need that apprentice to pour out. You know, I think of Pastor Dale and Pastor Kevin. I mean, Pastor Dale has spent a lot of time with me. Every day, every Monday, we are Skyping for an hour plus. And then we go on mission trips together. We're in the Philippines. We're serving together, pouring out, taking turns back and forwards. He can start preaching and I can chime in and start preaching right with him and have no idea what we're both going at. But the Lord lines us up to do it. And that is on-the-job training. That is being fed, you know. And then you have these young men. I'm talking, these young men are early 20s, late teens that are translators. And now they are the pastors at these other churches because it's on-job training. It's that apprentice. That is, they push. You know, one thing I love about the Philippines, every Saturday morning, their young people are going out and into the community, having Bible studies, pouring into the community, making disciples to bring them to church. You know, so that's one thing is about the Philippines, man, that they're just pouring out. And it took these young men who are gone with the pastors, and they are the ones interpreting. They're hearing it. They're not only hearing it, but then they're speaking it. And then that just, it registers them even more. And I don't know why I ever thought of it till now. But I can remember Denzel, and we were talking, and he said, Pastor, that was good. I never thought of it that way. Man, that was wonderful. I mean, I think it was when I was talking about the lepers and the 10 lepers that were healed, and they all left except one. One came back and was praising God for it. You know, and I told everybody there, I said, all of you guys, if it came from medical treatment, you're praising God now because you're getting your treatment. Are you going to leave and never come back? Or are you going to be the ones going to come back and give God the glory? You know, and so, I mean, that's That's how we grow. That's that apprentice, man. That's discipleship. Man, why are we doing this? Let's go on out there. I'm just picking.
Just cut it down.
Just cut it down. We're going to go where I'm going to be at your house tomorrow.
No.
And we're going to disciple you.
I know where you live.
Has this changed the way that you view your role in God's mission? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, if it has changed our mind and about mission and what we should be doing, what do you think we need to be doing as a church to be more mission-minded? You know, because many people in our church.
You call them all out, Jason. Just call them all out.
I'm just being honest, and I'm as guilty as they are. But how many of us really want to pour into somebody? How many of us really want to go out and talk to complete strangers? How many of us love this dying world to make a Timothy? You know,
and like you've said many times, it starts with us.
Absolutely.
We can't expect anybody else to do it or go forth. We have to be the ones.
Absolutely.
It starts in our mindset.
Absolutely. You know, stinking Sunday, you know, got there early before daylight, dark 30, and got the barbecue put on and all that, and the sanctuary was hot. Whew. 92 degrees, I think is what it was.
They were saying.
Yeah, and so open all the windows, and it dropped 3 degrees in 3 hours, 4 hours. So we went from 91, 92 to 89.
Oh, yeah.
So we're doing good.
Nice.
Making progress.
Yeah. You know, and you know, I know some people say it was hot. Some people say, well, can we not just do this in the gym and da-da-da? And I'm like, no. Because no one saw that I was there. I came early to make sure to see if the air was working, because it wasn't cooling off at all day Saturdays. I let it run. And opened every window. No one thought of that, except I don't feel good. It's too hot. And let's go do it in the gym. Let's go do this. But you know, it's only an hour. It's only an hour. I mean, it'd be different if we was in worship for 16 hours straight. You know, what if we did that training class Saturday in there? I mean, that would have been a different story.
Yeah.
Right?
Attendance would have been lacking.
Yeah. We all would have been Karolaki, right? We would be like, but it's an hour. Why can we not sweat for Jesus for an hour? Why can we not give to it hurts for Jesus? Why can we not serve Jesus till it hurts? You know, that's what this discipleship's about. It's about dying to yourself and living for Christ. It is about people, not you.
I think that we can take that in all areas of our
All
lives.
areas.
Yeah.
You know, because I was there for almost an hour before Spanish even started, trying to get everything together and set up. And then I was there for almost half of the Spanish, and I left to go set up tents outside, stand outside and hold signs, wave at people, come back inside, sweat just everywhere, come back into there, and I'm there from 10 to 11 to 12, and some of you guys were there. You guys are practicing in the heat and 100 degrees, you know, and I was excited. I didn't think it was too hot at all in there. Because why? Because we're serving together, and it's for Jesus. I mean, it is absolutely for Jesus. You know, if that AC never gets fixed, so be it. I will be there sweating it up.
Well, there's that challenge they were talking about. Make it at 5 in the morning. Make it 100 degrees.
There we go. We'll be at church Sunday morning at 5 a.m.
I was comparing it to the...
Oh, no, I'm serious. I mean,
I understood it like that, 5 a.m. I was like, I would do that. I will be there at 5 a.m. so it won't be too hot.
We'll be there at 5 a.m. We'll be there at 5 a.m. and we'll have service from 5 a.m. to 12.
Till sunrise.
Till 12.
But, you know, I mean,
Sunrise service, that's what we do.
maybe, you know,
Very nice.
Matt told me, he said, Jason, I was praying 2 prayers in there Sunday. I was praying one that you guys would get your AC fixed, that you'd be able to get it replaced. Because I know one of them's unfixable. It is discompuesto. Only Spanish word I know very well. Means not mechanically fixable.
Oh.
And then the other one, it might be there too. I don't know. But anyway, that it'll get replaced. The second one was, Lord, please show the church what you're trying to teach them. And I was like, man, that is so good. Because, you know, I had this notebook because I'm not really big in journaling, but I tuck it when we started this, and I got all my notes in it. And the very first page that I wrote in it back in June 24th, 21, things to be praying for. And one was I prayed for church band, which, you know, we have that. Very dependable church band to use and go out, do outreaches with. Except now I got to get people willing to do it. That should be my next prayer on this thing. A fence around the field, which that was answered. That's 4 years ago. 4 years, and the fence is fixed. Next was chairs, because we need to replace the church pews in the sanctuary. Not because we want to try to look like a modern church or whatever. It's just because them things have been there for years and they're falling apart. Some of them were made out of chip core and they're held together with 2x4s under it, screwed together, because we can't afford it. So that's what we did. We make it work. It's all right. But anyway, next is AC for the church. So 4 years we have survived with only one AC, half dependable, and we're still alive. We're still serving. We're still doing things for the Lord. In 4 years, because y'all just got married last year, right? So, church is growing. People are coming. You started coming in this 4 year of prayers, and your family. And who else has came in the last 4 years? Eric and Hector and Sam and Brandon and Angel and Christina. Alex, the twins. We just keep on naming people that have come since then. Nikki and James. You know, and you see all this. The church isn't stopped because the AC's broke. The Lord's working. The Lord's still moving. And if we have service in 100-degree sanctuary, we'll have service in 100-degree sanctuary. That sanctuary falls down one day and nobody gets hurt. I'm just saying, if it just falls down, nobody there, that we'll have church outside the field. You know, like I was telling the guys, I said, I remember.
Church in the walls.
Yes, I remember Church in No Walls when we had Bible studies and church service out there behind Northbridge Elementary School. And I'll never forget that day. It was 115 degrees in July. Outside, no breeze. And y'all was over there like,
under a tree.
I said, y'all don't want to have church today? No, we're having it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I do remember.
And you're like,
ice cream.
And I said, yes. I said, let me run to Walmart because we finished our Bible study. And I said, let me go to Walmart and I'll buy you ice cream. Before I got back, that stuff was already starting to melt. And it's less than a mile from the school. But anyway, y'all was just as happy as can be and good. You didn't want to stop. You wanted to grow. And then I was like, okay, I got to do something different in this heat. And so that's when we had the gray van. I took the wooden chair out from the garage, put it in between the front seats. I'd pull up. You guys would jump in. And that was turned facing everybody there. And we'd have church inside the van with the AC going. Yeah. So,
and that AC didn't even work that good anyway.
It worked good enough. Much better than 115 degrees. But, and so why are we doing this for? Are we just doing it for the numbers? Are we just doing it for the bragging rights? Are we just doing it just to say, hey, look what I did? Or are we doing it to serve Christ? Are we doing it to disciple people to have them have the same love and passion for Christ as we have? I think that's the biggest question we've got to answer ourselves. Maybe I'll continue using this book and start being this and writing down notes and everything else, that I'll look back at this journal and I'll have another prayer in another journal that says June 24th, 2035, still praying for an AC. And that will be okay. And that will absolutely be okay. It will be perfectly fine because we will give God the glory because we know that He has bigger plans than we do, and that He didn't want us to have AC. He don't want us to get comfortable.
The thorn in our side.
Yeah. He doesn't want us to have the luxuries of the world. He wants us to suffer and sit in the heat. Maybe that's our parable that's keeping people from coming and sowing discord. Maybe I don't know. It could be any of that, but I'm thankful that we have people in the churches willing to come and still be there and serve in 100-degree sauna for a church service.
I think it's going to keep people in the church skinny. That's what it's going to do.
Ain't working for me yet, brother. It ain't working for me yet. All I know is my shirt's so wet I can squeeze out a bucket of water. But it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right, Megan. You'll see one day.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay. I won't see. I'll close my eyes.
Not mine. I'm just talking about yours. You're being there sweating it up. But and that's the picture of disciple making. You're not going to have your best life. You're not going to have everything under the sun. Because Sonny said that guy said he didn't want to make disciples until he memorized the whole New Testament. And he said he still hadn't done it with him, and I guess he hadn't learned it yet. But, I can remember saying, Lord, I'll go serve you, and I'll get in church when I get my wife. Well, I got Katie, and we still didn't get to serving God until almost a year after we were married, almost. Before we decided, hey, let's just make this serious. Let's just do what we told God that we was going to do. Because sometimes we'll say, hey, if I get that job, I'll give more to the Lord.
If I win the lottery,
I'll give it to the Lord. And
are you doing it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, if they did win the lottery, the church wouldn't see it anyway. Because if they're not a cheerful, faithful giver with nothing, they'll never do it when they have it. That's just how it is.
You want to wrap it up?
Okay, so I think that'll be our last question for today's podcast. We do encourage you guys to come out, reach out to our church or to any church near you if you guys want to know more about God and be discipled. We have very eager people in our church who are willing to disciple you, so if you'd love to join us, we do have Wednesday Bible studies at 6:30 p.m. Then we have our Sunday services, 9 a.m. Spanish, 10 a.m. Bible study, 11 a.m. English service. And I believe for this week podcast we're going to have wrapped up already VBS, but we'll still have more exciting events coming out throughout the year. So if you guys like to follow us on our social medias, that's where we'll be posting all of our events and updating you guys with anything new coming out. And if you guys also like to subscribe and like this video and share it out to anyone who does need that encouragement of discipleship. And yeah, I think that'll be it.
I have something.
Oh, okay.
Before we go, I have a question.
To who?
To you.
Oh, no.
Who are you discipling?